How visualization can help you achieve your goals. Whatever the mind of a man conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Visualization techniques are usually more associated with world-class and Olympic athletes. The popularity and visibility of visualization began in the 1960s with Russian Olympians. However, more and more people outside of sports have realized that these concepts and techniques could be applied outside of sports and applied in business, school, or really anything else that a person would want to increase his or her success in. Visualization may sound exotic or difficult. In reality, it's just the process of using your mind's eye to see yourself performing something successfully or envisioning a desired outcome prior to it actually happening. It is also often referred to as positive mental imagery in some circles. Types of visualization. Although there are several types of visualization techniques, probably the most two implemented are outcome-based visualization and process-oriented visualization. The outcome-based involves picturing yourself in the winner's circle or enjoying the fruits of your labor. An example of this could be printing out a picture of your dream home and seeing yourself in there enjoying it with your family. The process-oriented technique is more of a practice or rehearsal of the steps one by one in your mind. An example is a figure skater reviewing his or her jumps right before the performance. Both can be equally as effective. The outcome-based technique does not have to involve total concentration and could be a vision board, a printout of your income goals on your desk, or even index cards that you review daily. You can really be creative with this technique. For either technique, drilling down to the tiniest detail will be more effective as it will seem more realistic and also be more memorable. Numerous cultures have practiced visualization for thousands of years. Modern research seeks to affirm what others have known for quite some time, that visualization really works. The science behind visualization is that our brains make little distinction between imagining the performance and actually doing the performance. Advances in brain scan technologies have confirmed this by measuring brain activity on the functional MRI. Although it is not a substitute for hard work, it can definitely be an additional tool that can be used in goal achievement. A huge benefit is the minimal use of resources needed. You just need a quiet, comfortable place and plenty of focus. You often see athletes, speech givers, and many others using visualization just prior to a big performance. What are the effects and benefits of using visualization? According to the blog of Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul and many other best-selling books and widely considered one of America's top personal development coaches, utilizing visualization does 4 important things. It activates your creative subconscious. This is because about 90% of your thinking is on a subconscious level, and this can help to eliminate some of the negative thoughts by seeing yourself succeed repetitiously. It programs your brain. Although the old saying is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, we now know that new neural pathways can be made, and there can be increased strength between formerly weaker connections in the brain. It activates LOA, or the law of attraction. The law of attraction has many names, but the thought of the universe conspiring to align factors in your favor is the premise. This concept was made more popular through The Secret movie that featured many modern personal development gurus and others. It builds internal motivation. While there are several types of motivations, both internal and external, we all want to succeed in our endeavors. Seeing success over and over, or seeing the winning outcome, can help to cement the desire to win internally. Conclusion. Visualization can be an important goal achievement tool in your arsenal. While many associate visualization with sports, it can be applied to a plethora of activities. Many use in conjunction with meditations, prayer, and also affirmations. Outcome-based visualization techniques can be as simple as reminders placed in highly visible places, so thoughts and goals consistently stay on top of the mind. The visualization should be as detailed as possible, all the way down to minor details such as clothing, location, who is there, and so on. The more detailed the scenes, the more real it will seem. Action steps. Write down several goals and place them in a spot you will see on a daily basis. Another idea is a vision board that has your ideal location, clothing, vehicle, and more. Index cards with goal reminders can be made and reviewed daily. When meditating or praying, use visualization as an additional component during this time. Picture yourself succeeding and making the right steps to achieve your goals and dreams. Use spare moments to find a quiet spot and use the time to visualize desired outcomes. Even a few minutes here and there can be fruitful in the long run. Building positive habits. I believe it is safe to say there is not one of us that would not want to change one habit or another and replace it with something that will reap rewards down the road. There are the usual culprits such as losing weight, going back to school, going to the gym, eating healthier, and improving relationships. Then there are more complex goals such as finally starting that business, writing that book that's been bursting out of you, or running a marathon for the first time. No matter what it is, all of these things have something in common. They require a positive habit, or in some cases, a series of them to reach the goal. If you have ever tried, and we have all tried to develop a positive habit at some time, then you know this much. It is difficult. New Year's is a prime example. Many set out to change starting January 1st, only to flame out by the end of January. We've all been there. The bad news is this is the norm. The good news is there are techniques you can use to increase the chances that you don't end up feeling like a total failure. You don't have to wait for the new year to start either. Chances are a random date is as good as any to start. Sometimes just starting is hard, and that is understandable. After all, we're wired to be creatures of habit, good or bad habits. Here are some tips to improve your chances of succeeding. First, start with something small and pick one thing. Next is to be very specific about what it will be. Something vague like live a better life is not going to work. People tend to start the process by writing down everything they want to change. Resist the temptation of tackling the entire inventory list and stay small and specific. Next, develop a plan. Write out exactly what you want to do with specific numbers to back it up. After your plan is complete, you must now find a way to stay accountable. Keep a log or diary of your progress. Tell someone what you are working on because chances are they will be checking to see if you actually follow through, and you will not want to report your lack of success. We live in a society that values fast results and convenience. The truth is that thinking must be abandoned if we are to succeed in the habit of building business. Take the long-term view of your progress and results. You will unlikely see any immediate gains. Slow and steady wins the race every time. But we are human after all, so you will want to know how long it takes to make this a permanent part of your routine. This is where things get tricky. While some gurus will advertise the 3-week mark as time to crack the champagne, the reality is that the actual amount of time to master the habit depends on a myriad of factors, including what the actual change is, the environment you are a part of, and your ability level and willpower, just to name a few factors. Other research indicates that 90 days or more is a more realistic time frame to start being able to celebrate mastery of the new positive habit. What happens if you fall off the wagon? In order to be successful, the best practice is to take it easy and learn to be forgiving of yourself, or otherwise frustration can increase the failure rate. Missing a day is not the end of the world as far as new habits go, but it is very important to rebound after a temporary setback. Perseverance is your ally, especially in the beginning stages where the rewards and your confidence are at their low points. Conclusion. The first step can be the hardest. Some of the best results come from substituting a positive habit in place of a negative one. Instead of another hour of reality television, commit to an hour of walking a day. Success often brings more success, so you can build on the small victories. Don't bite off more than you can chew and tackle everything at once. This is sure to bring immediate failure. Be quite specific and make sure the progress can be measured and tracked. Write it all down because it is proven that writing down your goals highly increases your chance of succeeding. Action steps. Write down the things you would like to change or improve. but just pick one small thing to focus on in the beginning. As you become more adept at accomplishing goals and mastering new and positive habits, you can increase the depth and difficulty levels later on. Be accountable. Find a partner to work with or tell someone what you are doing so you will be more likely to keep going. Track your progress daily so you can see the results visually. Persevere. Your plans may change or go awry, but that is not an excuse to stop. Learn to be forgiving and quickly recover so your progress is not lost. Keep forward momentum and celebrate small victories along the way. The 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule gets tossed around entrepreneurial circles frequently. But what exactly is it and how does it apply to you in your own journey? Essentially, what it means is 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. This principle originated from an Italian economist named Wilfredo Pareto. On the surface, that can seem like an abstract statistical formula. However, it has proven to have practical applications in many fields such as math, science, software, safety and health in the workplace, advertising, and many more. A real-life example of the 80-20 rule in action involves two people that I worked with in an office. One of the people worked super late hours into the night, and another person who was often able to leave the office early in the day because he was done with his work and totally caught up. The person that worked late somehow did not have the production of the one who simply came in, did his job with focus, and went home. Both people were smart. It did not necessarily have to do with ability levels. I can tell you from seeing both of them in action, that difference was the 80-20 principle, although they probably did not think of it in that way or know the name of it. The one spending inordinate amount of time at the office was eventually let go because of lack of production. Now, how could this happen? She was focusing on the wrong things. She was busy, but not productive. How could this happen? If there is one thing to take away from the 80-20 rule, is that being busy does not make you successful or ensure that you are doing the correct things. How can this help you? If you work in an office, you likely have a variety of things you do each day as a part of your role. There are obviously things that you do that are more important than others. If you work from a to-do list, take a look at the list. Identify the items that have a direct impact on your company's bottom line. The most productive items are the things you are being evaluated on by your supervisor. When it comes time for your annual performance review, you will not be judged on minor tasks that could be delegated, pushed off until later, or even eliminated. Focus on the higher impact activities that make a difference to the bottom line of your company and perform those first and perform them well. This is where procrastination can cause problems. We see a long list of items and believe all the items must be done, but the truth is these items must be prioritized based on the level of importance. Entrepreneurial application. What if you don't work for someone but you have your own business? Take some time to evaluate your business. 80% of your profits come from 20% of your customers. With this being said, who do you think you should focus on? Without evaluating the numbers, it may not be evident where your profits are derived from. What about advertising dollars? It is important to keep in mind that 80% of the results from the advertising campaigns come from 20% of the ads. The internet has made the results of advertising much more measurable. Take some time and effort to focus on what is working with regard to ads, which ones are not producing results. Personal applications. Have you ever looked around at all the things you have accumulated? It can be staggering at the amount of things we collect over the years. Just like business, the 80-20 rule has an impact on your personal life as well. 80% of your joy comes from 20% of the material things that you have. With that in mind, do you really need all of the things that are taking up space in your home and life? Maybe it is time to declutter and get rid of the things that no longer bring you joy. Donate, give to friends or family, throw away, or sell things that you no longer have a use for or is taking up precious space. The same goes for people. In general, it is wise to keep a tight circle of friends. Are there people in your life that don't share your vision for success or are otherwise keeping you from being happy? It may be time to look at the people in your life and make some hard decisions about the people you are aligned with. Choose the 20% that challenges and pushes you to be better, and not the ones pulling you down. After all, misery loves company. Action steps. Prioritize your to-do list with the 80-20 rule in mind. Focus on the high-impact tasks that will make a difference to your company. Being busy does not make you successful. In business, focus on the 20% of customers that provide the 80% of profits. The other customers are taking a disproportionate time compared to the return on investment, ROI. Since the 80-20 rule has implications on your personal life, look at the things and people around you and evaluate what 20% is bringing you the most joy. Take the opportunity to eliminate anything keeping you from success or happiness. Emotional intelligence. What is EI and how does it relate to your journey? No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. There is no separation of mind and emotions. Emotions, thinking, and learning are all linked. Eric Jensen. Dictionary.com definition. The capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. While the term was originally coined by two researchers in the early 1990s, named Peter Salovey and John Mayer, now not the singer, the term emotional intelligence exploded in popularity after psychologist and also author Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, was published in 1995. The concept is made up of 5 components. Self-awareness. This requires both channeling and recognizing your own feelings in the moment. Self-regulation. We all feel certain emotions as things happen. Self-regulation involves stopping negative emotions like anger before they get out of control. Motivation. This involves maintaining a positive attitude when it comes to the team or the organization and keeping everyone marching towards the goal. Empathy. This is understanding how others feel and understanding what drives others. It also involves taking that information into consideration when deciding how to coach and lead with all of that in mind. Social skills. This could also be known as people skills or having strong interpersonal communication skills. What does it mean to be self-aware? Essentially, emotional intelligence goes beyond what is measured on a regular IQ test because it involves how you handle both other people and yourself. For many years, there was not a way to explain how a person with average intelligence is often able to excel past someone with a genius-level IQ in business or in the workplace. Someone previously may have called it people skills or intangibles before emotional intelligence or EQ, or EI as the author of the book Daniel Goleman would prefer to have it be called. Now it is widely recognized that advanced social skills enable persons of average intelligence to make up ground past those perceived to have superior raw intelligence and get promoted higher or have more overall success in the business world. These skills are often associated with higher-level jobs. Mastery of the sub-skills located in the components makes one highly prepared as a leader. Attributes of emotional intelligence. What sets apart an emotionally intelligent person from someone who is not? They are curious about others. Emotionally intelligent people have a genuine concern for others and like to know what makes others think and feel as they do. They are always looking for new and better ways to accomplish goals and are not married to "this is how we have always done it." They are usually not perfectionists. They have the knowledge to realize that something's good enough, sometimes is sufficient. They remain committed but do not get bogged down in minutiae, and they learn from past errors. They have strong self-awareness. They do not believe they are perfect and therefore realize that there are always things they can improve. They do not, however, permit weaknesses to dictate failure. They have an infectious sense of positivity. They are enjoyable to be around and seem to lift others in the process. Not scared of change. People with high emotional intelligence realize that change is inevitable, but do not complain about, but instead they embrace it and tout its potential for improvements. Trustworthy. Those with EI always do the right thing, even if it is difficult. Understands how to resolve conflicts. Those with high EI understand how to recognize and intervene when there are issues within the group. Inspirational. They know how to be motivating leaders, and through this, they are able to get strong results from the group or organization. Conclusion: those that have developed the traits of a highly emotionally intelligent person are often the leaders of an organization. The skills take many years of experience to cultivate, and most will not reach this level. One must consciously work on the skills, because many will not have it come naturally. The main concept is that IQ alone is not the guarantee of success. Having average IQ intelligence but high EI will position you much better than the reverse. Action steps. Examine the traits of high EI people and evaluate where you think you stand in comparison. Take a look around your field or organization and pick 3 people you feel have very high emotional intelligence. What can you do to emulate their success? What are some actions they have taken specifically that demonstrates high EI? There are several resources online that allow you to take a test that will measure EI. Take one of these tests and see how you stack up, and also see what areas could use improvement. Meditation. What do you think of when one mentions meditation? Do you picture Buddhist monks in a monastery in some far-off land chanting ohms for days on end? Well, it turns out you don't have to become a monk or even spend all day pondering stillness to benefit from meditation. There is increasingly more evidence that even a few minutes a day can help, and perhaps more surprisingly, that even a couple of weeks of meditation can pay dividends far into the future with regards to health benefits and also mental well-being. The Western world has increasingly embraced the practices of the Eastern culture as time goes on, and the scientific world, although late to the party, has started paying attention to the once mythical-sounding practice. The potential benefits are almost too many to name. Some of the most popular and often mentioned are anxiety and stress reduction, help in lessening depression, increased focus and cognitive function, and the list goes on and on. There's no wonder why humans need to slow our minds down. An estimated 50,000 thoughts per day swirling around in our minds, and the speed of technology doubling every 2 years or so, the speed of life is accelerating at an alarming rate. The goal for meditators is to slow down the mind, literally giving their brains a much-needed break. The good news is that even a few minutes a day can reap big benefits. A Yale University study actually indicated that meditation can have the equivalent medical outcome as antidepressants. This is not something big pharmaceutical companies will likely tout, especially since meditation comes sans side effects, unlike their chemical counterparts. Schools in America have also taken notice of the benefits of meditation. Several schools have reported increased levels of concentration in students, and more concretely increases in standardized tests after only a couple of weeks of meditation. Studies have also shown that students with attention deficit disorder, commonly referred to as ADD, can benefit from meditation, and this actually includes adults with the disorder as well. From a medical perspective, perhaps the most intriguing and surprising element of practicing meditation is that the structure of the brain can be transformed or altered through the practice of meditating. With the increased use of functional MRI, also known as fMRI, the makeup of the brain can be viewed and studied more efficiently. Scientists in a UCLA study ascertained that the critical gray matter of the brain was more abundant in those that meditated for 20 years compared to those who did not. A Harvard study added to the evidence that brain structure can be altered, as fMRI showed an increase in the cortical thickness of the hippocampus portion of the brain in those that meditated regularly. The effects of meditation can be characterized into 2 distinct categories: short-term and long-term. The short-term benefits consist of immediate benefits to the central nervous system. These benefits include lower blood pressure, more relaxation and less stress, increased blood circulation, lowered heart rate, a decrease in cortisol, and an overall better sense of well-being. The longer-term benefits can overlap with short-term in some categories, such as relaxation and reduced stress among others, and can range all the way to the aforementioned altered brain structure. Studies have shown that those with addiction can benefit as meditation can serve as a substitute habit in place of the addiction. There are many types of meditation, and the origin and culture can play a large part in the differing methods and techniques. Two of the most popular types are concentration meditation and mindfulness meditation. The concentration meditation encourages a singular point of focus. The point of focus can be one's breath, a chant, or a physical object. The mindfulness meditation offers in the fact that random thoughts are simply observed without a sense of judgment or additional action, but to simply observe. Conclusion. Meditation has been practiced throughout history. Although the benefits have been widely recognized by many cultures, increased technology and research in the fields of neuroscience have slowly begun to demystify and provide concrete evidence in favor of meditation. With a broad range of short-term and long-term effects that are positive, it is evident why the popularity is increasing. Action steps. Make a commitment to set aside a few minutes per day in the beginning. Many are surprised at the difficulty in the beginning of focusing on a singular thing or simply observing thoughts as they float in and out of one's mind. Do not give up. As you get better, you can increase the amount of time per day. 20 minutes or so is a good starting point, though even that can prove a difficult task at first. Many people that have experience and practice do up to an hour a day. Make sure your environment is conducive to meditating. Find a comfortable chair or other spot and eliminate all distractions, especially noises. Close your eyes and do your best to just breathe naturally and observe your breath as you breathe. Notice how your body reacts to the breathing. Focus will be difficult, especially at first. Make a commitment to simply refocus when this occurs. It is natural for this to happen. It happens to everyone, but it will improve with practice.